first key change to the service tax legislation is the proposed tax on imported services or services acquired from overseas businesses. Now, the intention of this is that if a local service provider provides a taxable service, then that same service, if acquired from an overseas service provider, should also be taxed. In concept, it's pretty straightforward, but in practice, potentially there could be some issues. For example, a local service is only taxable if it's a prescribed taxable service. So in order to ensure parity, the local recipient, who will have to account for the tax, will need to make an assessment as to whether or not that service that they're acquiring from overseas is actually taxable or not. Now, for service tax registrants who are familiar with the service tax legislation, this shouldn't be too difficult, but when it comes to sales tax registrants or persons who aren't registered for either sales tax or service tax, we would expect them to have to make the same assessment and account for the tax on the imported service. Potentially there could be some teething issues for these types of businesses to impose the tax. The next issue that arose in the service tax legislation is the proposed exemption on service tax for business-to-business service tax registrant supplies. So when one service tax registered business provides services to another service tax registered business, it's proposed that there is an exemption on the service tax charge, so that service tax is only charged once in the supply chain. We don't expect this to apply to all taxable services. We think it will probably be on selected taxable services. So again, the challenge will be for businesses to capture those taxable services which are given the relief. And again, how that actual mechanism will work, will interact with between business to business, is something else that we will need to look at.